John Simpson Kirkpatrick was born in England in the late 19th century. As a young man, he loved the sea and adventure. He worked on ships and traveled far from home, eventually reaching Australia. He liked the freedom of the country and the chance to start again. When war began in 1914, Australia joined the fight alongside Britain. Many young men volunteered, believing the war would be short and that it was their duty to help. Simpson was one of them. He joined the Australian Army and became a stretcher bearer, a soldier whose job was to carry wounded men away from the fighting. In April 1915, Simpson sailed with thousands of other soldiers to a place most of them had never heard of before. It was called Gallipoli. The land was part of the Ottoman Empire, which is now modern Turkey. The plan was to land on the beaches, move inland, and capture the high ground. From the start, the campaign went badly. The beaches were narrow, the cliffs were steep, and enemy soldiers were waiting above. Many men were wounded or killed as soon as they landed. The land at Gallipoli was rough and dry. Sharp ridges ran up from the beach, and narrow gullies cut through the hills. There were few trees, little shade, and constant dust. Bullets and shells flew across the slopes day and night. For stretcher bearers like Simpson, the work was dangerous and exhausting. They had to climb up the hills under fire, lift wounded men onto stretchers, and carry them back down to aid stations near the beach. Often it took 4 men to carry one wounded soldier, and the journey could take hours. Simpson saw very quickly that the normal way of carrying wounded men was too slow. Many soldiers lay waiting for help while the fighting continued around them. Some died before they could be reached. One day Simpson found a small donkey. Donkeys were common in the area and had been used by local people to carry supplies. Simpson decided to use the donkey to help him with his work. He placed wounded men across the animal's back and led it carefully down the slopes toward safety. The donkey made a great difference. It could walk narrow tracks where men struggled. It did not panic under fire and kept moving even when shells exploded nearby. With the donkey, Simpson could help more men and work faster. He often worked alone, leading the donkey up the hills, finding wounded soldiers and bringing them down again. He did this day after day, from early morning until night. Simpson became well known among the troops. Many soldiers recognized him as he passed by with the donkey and another wounded man. He was calm and steady, even when bullets cracked into the ground nearby. He treated the wounded gently and tried to keep them comfortable during the journey. Sometimes he helped men from his own unit. At other times, he helped soldiers from other countries, including New Zealanders and Turkish soldiers who had been injured. To Simpson, a wounded man was simply someone who needed help. Life at Gallipoli was hard in many ways. The soldiers suffered from heat during the day and cold at night. Food was limited and often unpleasant. Flies covered everything, especially wounds and food. Disease spread quickly. Water was scarce and had to be carefully rationed. Despite all this, stretcher bearers like Simpson continued their work. They knew that every trip up the hills could be their last, but they went anyway. The donkey also became a symbol of comfort. For a wounded man, seeing Simpson arrive with the animal meant there was hope of getting off the battlefield. The slow, steady walk down toward the beach could feel like a long journey, but it was a journey toward survival. Some men later said they remembered the sound of the donkey hooves and the calm presence of the man leading it more clearly than the fighting itself. Simpson did not see himself as a hero. He was simply doing his job in the best way he could. He did not carry a weapon and did not fight the enemy directly. His courage was shown in a different way, through kindness and persistence. He faced danger every day without expecting praise or reward. Many officers knew of his work, but in the chaos of the campaign, there was little time for formal recognition. As the weeks passed, the fighting at Gallipoli grew more intense. On the 19th of May 1915, there was heavy action along the lines. Simpson was again moving up the slopes with his donkey, searching for wounded men. While doing this work, he was hit by enemy fire and killed. He had been at Gallipoli for less than a month. The news of his death spread quickly among the soldiers. Many felt they had lost a friend, even if they had never spoken to him. His donkey was taken and used by others for a short time, but no one replaced Simpson in quite the same way. The image of the lone stretcher bearer and his donkey remains strong in the memories of those who survived. After the war, the Gallipoli campaign came to be seen as a defining moment in Australian history. Although it was a military failure, it helped shape a sense of national identity. The qualities people admired most were courage, endurance, and mateship. Simpson and his donkey came to represent these qualities better than almost anyone else. Over time, stories about Simpson spread across Australia. Children learned about him at school. Statues were built to honor his work. He became part of Anzac Day ceremonies, which remember all Australians and New Zealanders who served and died in wars. The story was told again and again because it was easy to understand and deeply human. It showed that bravery does not always mean charging into battle. Sometimes it means helping others while danger surrounds you. There has been discussion over the years about awards and medals. Simpson did not receive the highest military honor, the Victoria Cross. Some people believe he deserved it. Others point out that many stretcher bearers did similar work and that awards were rare. Whatever the decision, his place in history does not depend on medals. His actions spoke for themselves. Today, more than 100 years later, the hills of Gallipoli are quiet. Grass grows where trenches once cut into the earth. Visitors walk the paths and look out over the sea. In museums and memorials, the story of Simpson and his donkey is still told. It reminds people that even in the worst moments of war, humanity can survive. John Simpson Kirkpatrick was an ordinary man placed in extraordinary circumstances. He did not plan to become famous. He simply saw a problem and found a way to help. By leading a small donkey up and down dangerous slopes, he saved many lives and left a lasting legacy. His story continues to matter because it shows how one person, acting with compassion and courage, can make a difference even in the darkest times.